Episode number 1, Thomas and Terrell Show. My name is Thomas.
And mine is
There's
Terrell.
Terrell. What's up, Terrell?
What's going on, Thomas?
All right, episode number 1. A few things that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about what's on the agenda. We have the Florida, I think it's University of Florida in Gainesville. They fired everybody in the DEI office, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think it was 15 people got fired. Perhaps this was in reaction to, I believe, the governor of Florida and the Florida legislature banned public money for DEI. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about legacy admissions in Virginia on a slightly related topic. Governor Glenn Youngkin banned legacy admissions at state universities in Virginia. And for those who don't know, legacy admissions are if your father went to the university or your mother or grandfather or great grandparent, it gives you a preference in admission. And I believe that the new legislation also bans giving preference to donors or relatives of donors to the university. So we'll talk about that on, and we have a segment called That's Crazy. We'll talk about a few things. And we'll also talk about Russell Wilson being let go from the Denver Broncos, which was not really surprising, but seeing how quickly Russell Wilson dropped off or fell out of favor with the Denver Broncos was pretty amazing. And it has been announced that Mike Tyson will fight Jake Paul July 20th on Netflix. So we'll talk about that. You gonna watch that one? You gonna watch that fight?
Man, I'm gonna sit there with a bucket of popcorn and watch Mike whoop that white boy ass. I swear to God. I think, man, it's gonna be kind of comical, but I think that he's a good businessman because he knows how to get the audience to tune in. So I mean, I can't be mad at him how him making his money. But I mean, out of all people, Mike, I've been watching Mike practice, getting ready, and I don't. Whew, he's scary even at 50-some years old.
For sure. All right. So Florida, according to NPR, the University of Florida is eliminating its chief diversity officer position, scrapping the program's staff jobs, and halting any contracts involving the subject because of a new law passed last year that was pushed by Governor Ron DeSantis. University of Florida in Gainesville, in a memo released Friday, said that there were jobs being eliminated, and they encouraged the 13 staff members who were fired to apply for other jobs. And so that's it for DEI at the University of Florida. So what's your thoughts on that, Terrell?
My thoughts of it is what is the underlying meaning of it? It's more to it than what's being said and what's the real sacrifice that's being made with this. I mean, it's not immediately. I know a lot of people are going to jump to, it's the black organizations, the brown organizations. It's more than that because it's white organizations too. Native Americans, Asian, all of them. What does it mean? And, does that mean you can't have those type of events organized by those peoples on that campus anymore? Does that restrict things with that? Next, are they going to say that certain organizations can't be on the campus represented? So, I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Well, I don't know when people interested in diversity in organizations began to call it DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It seems like it's a recent buzzword. I'm not sure because I don't work in that industry or that field, but it seems to be a recent incarnation of people who are interested in making the campus more diverse or workplaces more diverse. But it's kind of gotten a bad rap, DEI, because you've seen some examples where let's take an organization such as Target. And I believe I saw one of the leaders of the DEI office of Target said that, if you have to accept the doctrine of this organization or you won't work here, such as the use of pronouns and talking about people who want to have non-gendered pronouns and the opposite pronoun from what their sex assigned at birth. And it almost became, or is perceived as being oppressive. And it seems like it's strayed away some of these offices, and I can't speak for everybody or every organization, but it seems like they strayed away from their original mission. And they're kind of trying to create a purpose for their existence by going beyond, having more race diversity on campus or in the workplace, or having more gender diversity in the workplace or on campus. And they're reaching out to these other groups and threatening people with their jobs if they don't comply with the doctrine or the philosophy of the organization when it comes to these various groups. And it's kind of gotten a bad rap, for better or for worse. So obviously, I think that having more Black people on campus who are students apply and can compete at the schools, they should have every opportunity to do that. People who are pushing the end of DEI, saying that the end of these offices will not affect their mission to recruit a diverse student body. But we'll see. I don't know. I guess we'll
mean,
just have to find out.
yeah, we'll see, but I believe both sides be lying through their teeth. I mean, that's just me, how I feel. Both sides, are withholding like the real true agenda. And like you were saying, you have some real, um, I guess, those people from each side that are real radical on what they're trying to do. And to me, is like you said, it's gotten out of hand. At what point are we just going to see people as human beings and being qualified people? That's what it really should be. Are you a qualified person? And it shouldn't matter on your race, gender, or anything. But that's in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world. And quite frankly, I'm tired of trying to figure out what pronoun to call people. What color you want to go by. Why can't I just call you by your name? Why can't I just say hello and are you qualified and look at your qualifications? Because your gender should not matter. Your race should not matter. Because my biggest thing is, if you're looking at those things, I say stuff like this. If a person is smart or if a person is beautiful, does it matter what their gender is? Does that, if I take your gender away from you, does that make you not smart or beautiful anymore? No, it doesn't. So why does it matter as far as your qualification of if you qualify for this? And and I just think it's gotten out of hand. And I think people need to just start going back to the basis and not trying to make every little thing so offensive. I think we've gotten soft as a nation. Me personally, too many people are soft. You got a lot of Twitter fingers and thumbs moving that got stuff to say, but nobody's out there really marching and understanding the true reason and what the real prize is. I think the vision is lost. That's my personal opinion.
Well, we want people to, you think about the University of Florida, any other university. I mean, you want to have outreach and recruitment to all types of communities, whether it's poor white communities, poor Black communities, Hispanic, whatever it is. You want all of those students who are qualified to be able to be admitted. You know,
I
so, but the use of the pronouns, threatening people with crimes, to exclude them from activities, to exclude them from the university, to fire them if they don't acquiesce to some of these oppressive policies of some of these organizations that are pushed by the DEI offices. I think that's how they got a bad rap. I remember, I believe it was Stanford University. A federal judge came to it was law school, Stanford University Law School. A federal judge came to speak to a group of students, and that's a big deal for any law school. Federal judges are very busy people. They're appointed for life by the president of the United States. And they take their time to come to the university. And there was a group of students who were who was unhappy with one of the opinions written by this federal judge. They didn't like the outcome of this opinion. And as a result, they came to the classroom where this federal judge was speaking and shouted him down, wouldn't let him speak, had banners, yelling insults at him. It was really embarrassing. And instead of calming down the situation, the head of the DEI office of Stanford University came and joined in the protest and insulting this federal judge. It's situations like that that make people say, these DEI offices are out of control. Out of control. I think back to the debate about affirmative action in universities, and um, the debate was around, or the discussion was around, listen, we need more minority, Black people in organizations, in schools. But when you looked at the numbers, Black people weren't the ones who were really benefiting from affirmative action. It was the biggest beneficiary at many institutions of affirmative action was white women, not Black people in general. And then you expanded beyond that and became people of color. And then you expanded beyond that, it became sexual orientation is what they called it, or sexual preference. And then it became sexual orientation. And now it's the whole gender issue. So when they're pushing these policies, they always use Black people as a battering ram. When they're pushing DEI, when they're pushing affirmative action, they use Black people as the poster child to initiate the policy. But after policy is initiated, after these offices are initiated, Black people kind of fade to the background.
Man, they don't stop calling us nigga. You know what I'm saying? They don't stop all that stuff. Where are they at with the protests and shutting stuff down when it comes to those type of things? If this is what you're really about, equality and stopping that stuff. Okay, if you don't like a policy, that's fine. But like you were saying, threatening, I'm going here if you don't call me by the right pronoun. Man, look, how many pronouns are there? Really? Seriously. What's gonna be next? A zebra? What next? You want to be a unicorn? I mean, at the end of the day, for me, you're a male or you're a female. Now, you know what I mean? All this other stuff that you want to do, what your preference is, I really don't care. That's behind closed doors. That's your business. At the end of the day, it's about, are you an asset or are you a liability to my university and to my company?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it should boil down to. And when you come here, being professional. And for me, it's like separating the two P's, personal from professionalism. And that's all I really care about. And that's what it should be about, the basics. People are taking this stuff way too far. And, quite frankly, it's pretty annoying to me. It's really annoying. It's like, what's next? You shouldn't be having to go to work or go to school and walk on eggshells. You shouldn't have to, at all. And I think that's what it's come to. You walking on eggshells. Why? And I think the ones that end up silent the most are, one, Black and brown people, because we say certain things, we can't get away with it. We don't have that privilege. They say stuff, it's a slap on the hand. If you say something to a person that identifies as a transgender or whatever, if you call him Becky, but she wants to be called Tom, oh, I'm going to, for what? It's not a hate crime. I'm just calling what I see. What's on your birth certificate?
One day it may be a hate crime. We'll find out. And I believe it's in other countries, some other countries, European countries, it may be already. All right. So next topic is legacy admissions in Virginia. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, a Republican, signed 2 bills aimed at legacy admissions at public colleges in Virginia. And the law reads, no public institution of higher education shall provide any manner of preferential treatment in the admissions decisions to any student applicant on the basis of such student's legacy status or such student's familiar relationship to any donor to such institution. So if you have a parent or grandparent that attended the University of Virginia, for example, Virginia University can no longer give you a preference. So if you have a 3.8 GPA, you have, for example, a 1400 on the SAT, and your parent, your father went to the University of Virginia. You have another student with the identical qualifications, exact same to get into university. The student whose father went to the University of Virginia will no longer get preference for that. And the university will have to have some other basis for determining admission other than you have a family member that was a donor or your parent went to the school. And you hear a discussion about that because in the affirmative action debate, for example, Black people said, okay, you're taking away affirmative action, but if your father or grandfather gave $1 million to university, you still can get in. You still get a preference. And those people are more likely to be white people. If you had a grandfather to go to the university, white people have a built-in advantage because, when Black people were dealing with discrimination, economic issues, because of the history of this nation, white people had an advantage. So, of course, they have a legacy advantage. So you have the governor of Virginia taking that away. And does that level the playing field for more people by taking away these legacy admissions? What do you think?
No. Oh no, I don't think so. Because I think it's going to be the same damn thing. I don't think it changed a damn thing, me personally, because it's all about the money with these schools. And if your family donated $2 million, you damn sure better believe that university know, hey, if this money gonna be taken away from us, your child, grandchild, great grandchild is gonna be get in there some shape, form, or fashion. They're gonna find a way to cut the corners, cut through the red tape, and get them in one way or the other. So I really don't think it's gonna change much. Hell, I went to school. I ain't have to worry about that because my daddy didn't go to college, so I didn't have that issue. And same for my mother. I don't know too many people, that had that thing of like, hey, my parents went here or donated this much money, and this is what it's going to be. The good part about that on the flip side is our children have graduated from college, and if they children decided to go to the school, then hey, that might have worked for them, for their parents being alumni. But overall, the big picture, I don't really see a change in it. That's my personal opinion.
Do you think that the legislation is harmful?
No,
You just don't think it's useful?
at all.
Okay.
What's yours?
I think it's a good thing. I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing because it is that student didn't do anything to gain that advantage other than be related to somebody who went to the university or the student whose father or grandfather or grandmother donated an auditorium to the school or money to build a dorm or a research hall. By getting an advantage, they didn't do anything. The student didn't do anything to earn that. So I think it's good that they got rid of those preferences for people who have legacy or family members of a donor. That's just my take. Now, the another argument that could be made, well, what about race? I mean, a Black student who gets preference or a Hispanic student who gets preference, that student didn't do anything in order to get that preference or that advantage. But that debate is over for now because the United States Supreme Court recently ruled in this last term that preferences based upon race at colleges and universities are forbidden. So that's the end of that debate when it comes to race. But I think this bill by Governor Youngkin that was signed takes away other preferences to kind of, perhaps even the playing field when it comes to rich versus poor. Coming from a background where your family members went to college versus those who didn't. So we'll see. But that's my take. I don't think it's negative. I think it generally is positive. And it's what a lot of people called for. Affirmative action advocates called for as they saw the threat to affirmative action. They said, you need to address these legacy admissions. So Governor Youngkin who happens to be a Republican, kind of heeded to those calls to end legacy admissions. So I think a lot of people will see it as a good thing.
I mean, hopefully it can be, but I just don't see it making that big of a difference. I mean, the walls have been knocked down. My thing is, we shall see. I really hope it works out the way it should work out.
Mm. All right. So the next topic we have is what's going on with P. Diddy. It looks like he's about to get that Weinstein treatment, that R. Kelly
Man,
treatment.
it sound like Diddy been busting them cheeks. That's what it sound like. Come here, pow pow. No, take that. Won't stop. Won't stop. Let me quit. But I mean, look, my whole thing is, if you guilty, man, yeah, you should get that treatment. You should be held accountable. The music industry is a this brutal dog eat dog world. It's a lot of foul, unspoken things that happen within the music industry in Hollywood. And it's unfortunate how so many people are taken advantage of. Rape. You hear so many stories of people being taken advantage of as far as money, as far as their bodies, and families just taken and torn apart over so many things, man, because so many people are foul within that industry. And I mean, and he's had a rap for years. You have all those artists that were on your label. Name one artist that really is relevant or talking about anything that they have now. Not one. You founded Mary J. Blige and you worked with Uptown Records. You contribute a lot to the music industry itself, and you're saying you're the creator of the remix. But at the end of the day, how did you treat your people? What did you do for them to help them grow? So I mean, if you're looking at him and can say Master P, people speak more highly of Master P, and as far as them saying he taught them the business, he gave them the freedom, and the stuff that lasts as far as longevity. Snoop talk about it. What he learned from Master P and his business philosophy. Diddy has been a great businessman before himself. And these stories that have just come from his artists not having nothing, being on the street treated bad. And some of it's on those artists. But if you've been taken advantage of your body, and and all these little secret parties, man, look, it it's little booty clappers in the Hollywood and the music industry all day, every day. You know, but wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. And I just think, man, if you did it, you need to be held accountable. That's yeah. Hold his ass up there in court. No pun intended. But take him to court. Make him pay for it. He settled real quick with old girl.
Yeah, well, right now there are allegations. I mean, we don't know exactly what happened, but and he didn't admit any responsibility when it came to Cassie, and we don't know exactly how much he paid. It's rumored to be a lot. I mean, many millions of dollars, but who knows what really happened? We know that Hollywood and the music industry, like you said, is decadent. I mean, you find out what goes on in these places. A lot of people they're using cocaine, they high. It was just Mike Epps. I just saw an interview with him. He came out and talked about how he made, was it something
All
about the
about
Benjamins? All about the
life.
Benjamins, how he was on cocaine there when he filmed that movie, how it affected how he did his work, how he was in Ice Cube's trailer crying, because
Yeah.
he was high and he wanted more cocaine or whatever he was talking about. But I'm not getting down on Mike Epps, but you hear stuff like that all the time about what goes on in these industries. It's not just the drugs,
Yeah.
it's the sex, it's the casting couch, and these are people in the music industry and all types of entertainment. These are the people that we've given access to our children's minds. With all of
Yeah.
that, all of those negative, you just call it demonic influences and mindset that they bring and how they live their lives. And we say, okay, we're going to give our children a tablet. or get them a music Spotify account or whatever, and or Netflix, and they spend hours and hours influencing our kids. These are the type of people that we're talking about. Diddy has an inspiring story of coming up in the music industry, the things that he's accomplished in music. But just because you're talented in one area doesn't mean that you have character, doesn't mean that you can be trusted to do the right thing in all areas. And it's not surprising. And he should get that Weinstein treatment. He should get that, what they put Bill Cosby through, even though his charges were ended up being reversed, or his conviction ended up being reversed. It's sad. It's sad to see.
Man, it's heartbreaking, man. It really is, because it's like you said, there's so many people that we looked up to. I mean, hell, but on the reverse side, you know, they talked about Johnny Cash, they talked about Elvis Presley, all of these guys that were doing these type of things too, back in the day. But I guess it was more accepted back then. But nobody deserves to go through that. Nobody deserves for their body to be violated. Nobody deserves to be taken advantage of, financially, you know, morally, spiritually. That is just wrong, man. I hate when people say I'm here to help you out, and then you're not there helping them out. You there just breaking them down, and creating heavier issues for these people to deal with in life. So I don't know if he's guilty or not. All I'm saying is, if he is, he needs to be held accountable.
But what about this? What you say to this? That the people who came to him, I imagine, well, Usher wasn't an adult when Diddy got his hands on him. I don't know what happened between them. I think Usher was a minor. Justin Bieber
He
was a
wanted
minor.
it.
I think Diddy gave Justin Bieber a Lambo when he was like 15 years old. I
No,
don't know
sir.
what Justin Bieber did, to earn that, or to get in Diddy's good graces to get a Lambo. But
I
let's say,
thought discovered Bieber.
you thought who?
I thought Usher discovered Bieber.
I don't know. I saw the video with Justin Bieber, and Diddy gave him a car.
You ain't giving my son 15 no damn Lambo at all. I don't know, bruh. No.
Now, what do you say? Well, what if you're talking about an adult? I mean, is it a fair trade to say, okay, you so desperate to get into this industry? I guess there's 1,000 other people who sent me demos who look good, who can get a record deal. If you want a record deal from me, I get to bust it wide open.
Well,
So
hell, people busted wide open to get a job at McDonald's. So I mean, let's be real. It don't matter what.
is there anything wrong with that? Is that person a victim?
Not if you willingly do it, no. But if I tell you this the only way you getting it, and you are timid and you feel forced into it, then yes, it's a problem. But if you going up in there and you already know it's them people that be like, I don't give a dang. I give it to them. I don't care. Then no, you're not a victim. The victim is the person that was forced to do something that they did not want to do willingly. That's the victim. So that no. I mean, people may feel differently, but you 304 is some 304s out there, then you got straight up people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want that limelight so bad that you're willing to do anything, you're willing to sell your soul, then you kind of get what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at somebody like Little Nas X.
Man, don't bring his punk up.
You look at somebody like him, you
Man,
wonder you wonder how much of it is, the record label, his handlers saying, listen, this is what you need to do in order to get attention. What happened to that young man where he's just, he's mocking Christians, he's just so over the top with his performance
I
that
mean,
you
he's
wonder what's really going on.
performance. It's not
Mhm.
just his performance he's over the top with. He's over the top in general.
Mhm.
You know, in general. And then you want to come back and say, "Oh, it's not about me mocking the Lord." Then what is it, bruh? Because this is like your second or third video you doing something like this. dealing with Jesus or the Christian faith, you know, and it's like you don't. The mockery is not necessary, you know. But I tell you what, religions they really don't mock though. Islam, they don't
Hello?
mock, and they don't mock being Jewish,
Nope.
you know. But you want to mock Christianity, and the problem is Christians haven't really stood up for themselves and say, look, this is not going to be tolerated. They don't mess with those other two because they already know its consequences if you do. You know, don't do it. And I just think that regardless of what your religion is, your faith, whatever, don't mock, don't play with those things. It's not nothing to play with, you know. And you out here, I don't. But once again, I don't care what your sexuality is, but come on, man, enough is enough, bro. You know, I even think Prince, as good as he was as an artist, the booty out pants was a tad bit much for me. You know what I'm saying? That was
I
a
didn't see
tad.
that video, so I didn't see that video. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Thomas, you took me to see Purple Rain. Shut up. So I'm just saying, those are the things, man. I just think like, hey, you gotta, enough is enough with certain things. You don't do, and I think Little Nas X, man, sooner than later he's gonna end up feeling the pain one way or the other, you know. And I hope he get his stuff together. I don't wish anything bad on him, but he's gonna feel the pain one way or another, financially or whatever.
Well, they're going to prop him up, and it's clear that they're doing it. They're giving them spots on the award shows. Um, you know, if you do the things that they like, they're going to promote you and they're going to push you and make sure that you don't fall off. But if you're not, and you go against the grain, it's like you disappear. You're not getting that microphone at that award show.
Nah, they're gonna do a beep. Time to go to break. If you get anything, man. One thing I will say, man, we have to be so careful, man, with our minds and our ears of what we allow access to our ears. You know, Lucifer was the minister of music, so that's going to be his method of getting to people is through music, and it's not any coincidence that the music that is out, man, that is coming out now, man. You know, they appear dancing with the devil and doing all of this stuff. You know, what's that Sam Smith song? That he was singing something like dirty something now, daddy did something, whatever. And he was on a award show like in the devil with horns. Then you got Little Nas X over here giving the devil a lap dance. Come on, bro. You know, you have to be aware. And you know, and I understand everybody is not religious, but you still religious and not have to be careful what you your allow to have access to your mind. So, you know, in your children's mind. Because I monitor what my kids look at on their tablets or what they listen to. So that's our jobs as parents. Our jobs as parents is not to put people in front of tablets or TVs to babysit our kids. Our jobs as parents is to pour into our kids, give them values, and to monitor what's going on so they don't fall into that stuff and they know right from wrong. And it says, train a child in the way they should go, and they will not depart from it.
So you brought up a good point. I think that that I agree with when you're talking about guarding your ears. And I think back, I grew up on Two Live Crew, on Too Short. I'm talking about my formative years, teenage years. Too Short, Freaky Tales,
These are the tales that I tell so well. Yeah.
uh, Two Live Crew, Throw That D, or Hey, we want some P.
Listen to your tapes.
So I mean, these are the types. This is the type of music that I listen to that formed my ideas about the world because I was still in my formative years. And just imagine that the music has gotten a lot worse than that. And listen, I'm 51 years old. I can listen to it because I am what I am. I am set in my ways. My mind is fully formed and developed. Okay. And I still guard what I hear. But imagine kids, man, you have generations and generations of kids now who grow up on this stuff and they listen to it for hours and hours and hours upon end. and it's destructive. It is very destructive, and it's disappointing that we don't have more leaders speaking out about it. Imagine if a leader that people trust, let's say Barack Obama, came out and spoke about this issue very, very forcefully. I think things would change. I think things would change because the things that these people say, and as you see videos of little kids, I'm talking about 4 or 5 years old, knowing the lyrics to these songs and singing it, and you have adults filming it, laughing and encouraging them. It's just really sad to see. Which brings me to a topic that I want to talk about. What's crazy? The Diddy was yours, but for me, it was something that happened this past weekend. I want to show everybody this video.
When I look out at this group of leaders, I know that the future of our country is bright. Our nation needs you, and I look forward to your continuing leadership. Welcome to the house party at VP.
Being here at Vice President Harris's home tonight was an absolute honor. The embodiment of Black excellence in the room was overwhelming, and I'm just so honored.
So Kamala Harris had a party at the vice president's residence, the official residence for HBCU students. And I think that's great. That's fantastic. But here's another video for what occurred at the party.
Y'all, I'm at the VP house. They playing Sexy Red.
This is on government property. The vice president is there, or at least she was there for a time. You had other CEOs that were there, high-ranking women in various corporations, and they put that garbage music on. I mean, it was just, I'm surprised it didn't get more coverage. This person who calls herself Sexy Red is just
Trash.
It's just absolute trash. That's a good word for it. Just absolute trash.
Man, look, I'm gonna say this. I lost all respect for my booty hole round, my booty hole brown, whatever they say. Stupid. Then you got Suki talking about, nah, I'm eating his ass. I'm eating his ass. First of all, you're a mother. You have like 4 kids. And you out here talking about eating a dude's ass in a song and sucking dick and all that stuff. And then you got a chick, Sexy Red, who's up here doing the same type of music. And for her baby shower, she got her baby daddy eating her booty hole at the baby shower and they're taking a picture. First of all, he's a punk for doing that because you ain't getting me on my knees at no baby shower eating nobody's booty hole. I don't care baby mama or not. That's not going to happen. But you're a whole mother. You got a kids already. And the fact that the industry is allowing this type of trash to come out, they don't give a damn about our community at all. And the fact that you're selling your soul and pulling out this trash and thinking it's a hit, come on, we got to do better. And you expect more from people that are in higher places that have more dignity and respect for certain things. And she failed tremendously at that point. Trying to be hip or not, and connect with the young people. There's different ways you can do it. I think you could have done it in a better way than that. That's just my personal opinion. The vice president could have did a better job and chose a different way to connect with the younger crowd for votes or whatever it may be that she's trying to do. Happy that the HBCUs are getting an opportunity to go to the VP's house and being involved in things, with her being a graduate of Howard University, being a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Kudos for that. But at the same time, you got to do stuff the right way, and that wasn't the right way for that.
So if you look at the lyrics of this song that was played at the vice president's house, it's, when you take, for example, one of the issues that Kamala Harris says that's important to her, and that's gun violence. And she wants, the administration, and her included, wants to ban certain weapons because of the lives that are lost by guns. But when you invite these young, impressionable people to the vice president's house and you're there, and the music that they play is this sexy red song, Ski, when she's talking about doing drive-by shootings, when of course, she's talking about sex. She's calling Black people nigga. And listen, my opinion is, I don't care who uses it. And you're out there using that word in a demeaning way, talking about Black people. I mean, the whole song is a hate crime, if you ask me. I mean, the KKK would be proud. I mean, she could be a member of the KKK with the damage that she's doing. And
so she Dave Chappelle in the skit.
Right. What's the guy? The black white supremacist? That's her.
Yeah. Or Uncle on Boondocks.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it's not just her, it's the people who may not look like her. They might probably not Black at the record label. You know, a committee or a group of people sat down and listened to those lyrics of that song and said, yeah, that's cool. Let's publish that and let's have little kids and teenagers listen to that. She said in the song, and I got them shooters in the cut. They got a lot of guns. Grab boom, in parentheses. That's in the song that was played to young Black people, students at the vice president house, the second most powerful person in the whole world. This is what you're putting out. Imagine if she stood up and spoke out, Kamala Harris, in her chucks, in her pearls, Howard University graduate, forcefully spoke out against many of her donors at these record labels. She spoke to them and said, I don't want your dirty money. This has to change. Stop putting this garbage in the Black community. Instead, she plays the music at her home, in our home that she lives in.
How about this? Now imagine the backlash she would have had if Vice President Pence would have played that for these kids at the vice president house. The outrage that would be for him playing that, for HBCU students playing that. How dare you? You know, this and that. And they'll make it a whole race thing, but it's okay for our Vice President Harris to do it. It's not okay. It's not okay for the record labels to sit here and think that, hey, this is the music we want to pump into it. And you as an artist to be okay with allowing this type of trash to go out. And the people are more worried about money in their pockets than what they're doing to the community to uplift it and build it up the right way. And at one point, when are we going to hold our own people accountable and stop blaming other people? That's what we're really lacking more of, holding ourselves accountable instead of blaming a lot of other people. Hold yourselves. You know, as a parent, shut the radio off. When that song come on, you ain't got to listen to it. Change the channel. You know, you got Apple Music. Download some good stuff. My kids, I got a whole playlist of kid music or, old school music. But some of that you even got to be careful what you listening to with the old music. Because they be saying some raunchy stuff you ain't realize the blues music, boy. They be saying some stuff in them things.
Oh, no doubt.
But we got to step up. And that's the bottom line. We are the gatekeepers to our kids. We're the gatekeepers to the next generation. It's our job to mold them. And a lot of us have been dropping the ball. And I ain't talking about me and you, but it's a lot of us that's been dropping the ball. So, yeah, the outrage if Pence would have did that, oh, my God. Or let's just say, for some people's favorite guy, President Trump, if he did it, what would the backlash be?
Mm-hmm. And I couldn't even imagine, Barack Obama doing this. I think he would have more self-awareness
He
about
wouldn't
what's
have did
going
it.
on around him. I mean, didn't let that happen. And it's not just the Democrats, or it's not a party issue. Donald Trump gave a pardoned Lil Wayne for a crime. I think he pardoned Kodak Black, maybe somebody else. And I'm not saying that they didn't deserve a pardon. I don't know the details about their case, but I didn't hear Donald Trump speaking out against these lyrics either. He was happy to take photographs with these rappers instead of talking about the issue. It's not an issue about necessarily about race, even though it has a racial element. Um, and it's not an issue about party. I think everybody needs to stand up in a united voice and speak
Mhm.
out against these people who are making this music and putting this poison in the community. It's not about censorship either. I don't think there should be a law against making this music. I think people should be allowed to make the music that they want to make. People should be allowed to buy the music that they want to buy. But it's about having responsibility, corporate responsibility. These are corporations who are putting out this music, and they're making billions of dollars. And we'll cancel corporations and boycott corporations because they put a transsexual on a beer can or whatever that stuff is with Bud Light, or if they invest money in Israel, or they don't have because they like gays or they don't like gays. We'll ban certain corporations from certain contracts because of their corporate outlook. But nobody's standing up for the kids who are heavily influenced by this type of music. And it does come down to race on this level. If you have little Johnny and Amy in the suburbs, they have a mother and a father. They might go to private school, and when they put their Apple EarPods in, they listen to this music. But they have examples around them in their household, guardrails to show them how to live. This music to those kids, yeah, it might have an effect on them, but it's entertainment. You have
Mhm.
other kids who they might have one parent in the household, they might not have any parents. They might be living with a grandparent. They're in they don't have those guardrails. They don't come from a high socioeconomic environment. Music to them is a roadmap to life because they see it as reality. The things that are being talked about on those records, they see a lot of that in their lives, in their neighborhoods, in their families. And for them, oh, this is real life. And so when those kids get that music, it has a whole different effect. And I think the people who make the music know that. And I certainly know that our politicians who are very smart, who are very perceptive, they have influence and not saying anything about it. And I find that really, really disturbing. That's just my take.
Well, sir, well put. And I will say they're the ones getting the money in their pocket from these people, so they're not going to say anything. And so it's in their best interest to keep their mouth shut and collect their money to go for their next campaign. And as you stated, yes, there are a lot of great examples in the suburbs or even in the city because you have black families like that too. But at the end of the day, as an artist, how could you feel okay with yourself, feeling like you put out something great, knowing that that is straight trash that you're putting out? And is it hurting nobody but your own people? Nobody. So, and quite frankly, you need some of the pioneers to step up, the Buster, the Nas, and all of them. Hey, what y'all doing? What y'all? This ain't music. This is not music. This is trash. I blame Soldier Boy for starting a whole movement of this trash ass rap music.
I don't know if he started it. He might have continued it, but he didn't start it.
So you're right. I take it with Master P, because it sounded like he was constipated to me. That's all I used to say. I hear Maker say, nah. I'm like, damn, you gonna get a hemorrhoid from this shit. So, I was just like, hey, then you had Juvenile that talking about, oh, you like Reeboks, huh? Oh, you walking down the street, huh? I mean, this is the song, that is going. But then you had Too Short, these are the tales that are tells away. Well, hey, what's my favorite word? Bitch, this and that. But then you go to now, you licking people's ass, eating their booty hole. And it's okay. You got something about who can suck the dick the best. Like, come on now. It's more in this world than sex that you can rap about. It is way more out here. So what type of product are you willing to put forth? The
Well, hold
record
on now. Hold on. Well, that's not all they talk about. They also talk about killing niggas. They talk
yeah,
about killing niggas, and they talk about selling
rob,
drugs and using
sell it,
drugs.
and use it. It's way more out in this world than that. But the record labels don't want you to put that out because they're not making them no money. And they want to make sure, you know, and I got a problem with that. I got a problem with the people that like, okay, this is how I'm gonna make my money. I got a problem with the record labels pushing that poison into the black community. I do. I do. I that teased me out so bad, man. And like sometimes I just want to smack the hell out of these CEOs of these record labels and stuff. Like, come on, man. And it makes it even worse when you black knowing what you came from, but yet you put right back in and what you said messed you up.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. But it's all about the money. As long as you get yours, I mean, you think about somebody like Jay-Z, people put him on a pedestal and say, well, look what he accomplished. Look at all of the people that he helped. He made so many millionaires. He talks about it in his songs. And listen, this is not an attack on Jay-Z or any specific person, but how many people paid the price for your come up?
Exactly. How many families were ruined from the drugs?
Yeah, that was glorified by the music. And and people make excuses for what they like. I mean, it's seductive. I mean, the music is well produced. It sounds good. Nobody wants to work out to R&B. You want to work out to some hype. I mean, you listen to it. It motivates you. Whatever. It sounds good. They play it in the club. Whatever. But we have to look at the effect that music has had on the community. How many people have died because the shooters got hyped up listening to music? They wasn't listening to Beethoven or Mozart or Katy Perry when you about to ride on somebody. You listen to murder music when you about to murder somebody.
Hey man, hey. Dun, 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 and I see you.
maybe I don't know.
Oh man!
All right, so on the latter topic, we have Russell Wilson just got dropped by Denver Broncos. I mean, doesn't Russell Wilson have a Super Bowl ring?
Yeah, been to a couple Super Bowls, but got one ring. Yeah,
and he signed a contract with Denver. What? 2
it
years
was
ago?
2 years ago. I think it was for 5 years. So
and Denver is paying him, and they have to pay him anyway because he had guaranteed money on his contract.
Yeah, but here's the killer part. The coach Sean Payton said, "I'm not here to. We're not paying them to go around and shake hands and kiss babies." Hold up, sir. Wait a minute. Isn't that what your quarterback Drew Brees was doing down in New Orleans? You didn't have a problem with Drew Brees going around kissing the babies, shaking hands, and he won one Super Bowl as well. He didn't do that much for you, as far as taking you to the promised land again. So you come in your first year, and this is what you're saying, and then you want to sit him down because he's not willing to renegotiate a contract to take a pay cut. Why am I taking a pay cut? I'm a business person just like you. How does that do me any good to take less money? So you bench me. And the NFL has a history of doing things where they don't have to pay people on, especially on their heavy incentive made contracts. So if you need, say, 100 catches in a season, you down to the last game, you need 3 catches to get your 100, and that 100 catch will get you an extra $1 million. Hey, don't throw him the ball again. You make the playoffs, you get the ball thrown to you 10 times. They do stuff like that, man. That's the dirty secret of the NFL, man. They are the owners are grimy and greedy and try to save every penny they can. If you piss them off, they're going to do what they can and to not have you on their team, not pay you, or even blackball you like they did Kaepernick.
But when it comes to Russell Wilson, though, it can't be the money because they're paying him and they're not using him to play football. I mean, so they have to pay another quarterback to come in there for the 2024 season, 2024-2025 season. So why do you think that happened?
One, the team is sorry they suck. And so if you have a sorry team, you know what you're coming into. You can't just put the blame all on one person. There's multiple positions that need to be filled there. They don't have the best line. They don't have the greatest receivers or tight end. Your defense has been suspect. You let most of your best players go and trade. So you're in a rebuilding phase, but you expect them to come in and be the savior. And that wasn't the case. You know, he's not the young Russell Wilson. You got an older one. So his game is different. You know, how he processes the game and what he's going to do. He can't run around as long as he used to. So what did you expect? And then as a coach coming in, you know, if you don't like him, his personality, and you don't like him personally, you shove a bunch of crap up my behind to make me think we cool, but we not. That's foul. But unfortunately, that's the game that's played in the NFL. Well, sports in general. You know, being a football player, I've seen some of the shenanigans that go on. You know, talking to some of the people that have been in the league, they tell me about the shenanigans that go on within the league. And some of that stuff is just like, dude, just straight grimy. And then in this case, Sean Payton wrong. Them and the Denver Broncos organization could have handled this thing totally different than what they have. And to me, they slapped him in the face. It's like spitting in his face and then like, all right, go. I mean, somebody's going to pick him up because he still has some juice left in the tank. But I think the way this whole thing was going about was totally foul, and Denver has probably hurt their chances with a lot of other free agents being willing to come there.
So where do you think Russell's going to land? I heard the Steelers might be in the mix.
The Bears they talked about, but I think the Steelers will probably be his best landing place. I mean, hell, look what they did with Michael Vick. You know, being there. I think they have a more solid support system being in Pittsburgh. Ownership, coach that's been there for a long time, that's won a Super Bowl, that's patient, more willing to take the blame and be straight up with you. So I think Pittsburgh could be a good place because the quarterback they got now is trash.
Who is the quarterback in Pittsburgh? I don't even know.
Exactly, my point. Exactly my point. And they got some decent receivers.
Yeah.
And
so it was rumored that Sean Payton he thought Russell Wilson was aloof, kind of arrogant. He had 5 parking spaces in the parking lot where everybody else had 1. He had an entourage, I guess. He had his own office. He had his own trainer. He didn't use a team trainer. He had his own people come in, and supposedly Sean Payton didn't like that. Thought it was divisive.
I mean, as an athlete, what's my job? To make sure I maintain my body and be able to perform at the highest level possible. So the team training with me when I'm here during the off season, the team training with me, you know, for my days off, this and that. I got my own people that come in. Like I got my own chef, even though the team has a chef. I got my own chef to cook my meals at home and all of that stuff. My trainer that keeps my body. I got a routine, a ritual to keep going. So these are the people that come to my house. So yeah, I got my people with me. LeBron James spends millions on his body every year. Millions to maintain his health. That's invested in yourself. Now, if you got 5 parking spots, I don't know about that. You know, you the head coach, you mad because you the head coach, you only got one, maybe two parking spots. Then talk to the owner. Because the owner gave him that if he got it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not who you need to have beef with. Have beef with the owners. Because can't nobody grab 5 parking spaces other than the owners.
Yeah.
You know, and he had an office, once again, talk to the owners. Because they gave it to him. You got your office as it is as the head coach. So what you pissed for? Every star player has a certain type of treatment that is given to him on every team. Every team is different, you know, what treatment they get, but they get special treatment. So if that's like, hey, you go in, you outperform a person that's at, say, a law firm, right? A big time law firm. You come in, you do your thing, you work your way up to the top. You ain't partner yet, but you one of the top dogs, and you got one of the best offices with the best views up there in the building. And here come one of the people that just made partner, and he mad because his office smaller than yours. Well, shit, ain't my fault. I had this before you even got here. You know what I'm saying? I work for this. Just like you work for partner, I work for where I'm at. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at the player. Be mad at the game.
Yeah. Yeah, well put. All right, so July 20th on Netflix, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. They say that Jake Paul has racked up a pro record of 9 wins, 1 loss with six knockouts since his debut in January 2020. He most recently defeated Ryan Borland.
Who?
I don't know. Maybe it's some. I don't know if it was an MMA fighter or a boxer. I'm not sure. He has a pro record. He TKO'd him on March 2nd. Mike Tyson has a pro record of 50 wins, 6 losses with 44 knockouts. They haven't said what the purse is for this fight, how much money they're making. So you think you're gonna watch that?
Man, like I told you already, I'm gonna watch Mike Tyson whoop that boy ass.
Well, hold on. Mike Tyson a lot older than Jake Paul.
Hey.
Jake Paul is no slouch. He a big dude, and I assume he's training. He better be.
Hey, okay, they thought that about George Foreman too. George Foreman came and whooped the ass too and took the belt. So all I'm saying is Mike Tyson 50-something, and I watch these videos of Mike training, and Mike ain't that much lower than he was when he was going before. And when he fought those other fights, he was fighting professional boxers. I've been doing it for a minute. Jack Paul, whatever his damn name is.
Jake Paul,
he gonna go up in that ring, and I'm telling you, he up there try to coke and joke if he want to. This ain't Floyd. Floyd give you them taps and just, go around, just, hey, whatever. He's a counter puncher. Mike gonna come and attack you, and if Mike put them hands on you and connect, I don't know if his chin can take too many of them punches.
Well, didn't who beat Mike Tyson? Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson. Vander Holyfield didn't he beat Mike Tyson?
He was banging too many mama signs in Japan. Okay, that's what messed up Mike with Buster Douglas. He was hitting too many mama signs. He ain't taking serious. He was having sex every day, not training.
All right. Well, I'm just saying Tyson is not invincible.
I ain't say he's invincible, but I'm telling you right now, don't take him lightly.
Oh well, yeah, no. I mean, you see that dude train. I mean,
and he goes, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna bust his ass. I swear to God, I'm gonna bust his ass. I'm gonna have my blessing. I'm gonna bust his ass. It's going down. Jake Paul, I'm coming for you, Jake Paul. That's what's gonna happen.
Boy, you out of control. I'm telling you. It's gonna be a good fight. I mean, everybody got Netflix. I think it's gonna set viewership records. I mean, you have people who are reluctant to spend $59, $69, $79 on a pay-per-view fight, but everybody got Netflix. They pay that $14, $15 a month.
No, it's $20-something a month now, bro.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I don't pay that bill, but yeah, but people still got it, or they sharing that password. And they
No, they cut that out too.
oh, you can't even share a password anymore?
Nah, they cut that out, bro. And they was like, look, we're losing too much money. All these views we getting, and it ain't adding up with the membership. So they cut that out, man. And I will say this: Jack Paul is a very smart business person. You know, from coming from his YouTube and all that stuff, him and his brother being annoying people. They come from money, just being rich, annoying kids. Their marketing has been great because they made all these millions doing this stuff, and to come and start doing these fights, his marketing for it is just like great. Whoever would have thought Netflix would have been streaming a boxing match? Genius. I'm not even mad at it. Genius. Brilliant. Smart. I ain't mad at him.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't mad at him.
Yeah, it's gonna be a spectacle for sure. For sure, people are gonna be talking about it. It's Jake Paul's influence is going to increase. Mike Tyson, man, talk about his comeback, coming from prison. I mean, being in obscurity now, you know, and what he's done with his one-man show, being in movies. Nobody will forget his performance in what was that? Hangover.
I ain't gonna.
That was like his reincarnation.
Hey man, and then the weight loss. You know what I'm saying? His health journey.
Yeah.
You know, going the battle with his health, and then you know what I'm saying, losing the weight. The battle he had with losing his daughter, that died, from that freak accident at the house. You know, and seeing her just overcoming that and other obstacles in his life. But you know, that was like the most recent tragedy he had. That just like, man, it would have took a lot of people out. You know, a lot of things he went through would have took a lot of people out by now, but still fighting. And the comeback story, him owning a weed farm, like he grows his own stuff. He got acres and acres of weed that he grows, man. And the business, his weed business is like ridiculous. His podcast, you know, and his influence in the boxing industry. Once again, I mean, it's crazy. And so, like you said, his comeback is a great comeback story.
No doubt. No doubt about it. All right. So we got episode 1, Thomas and Terrell show in the books. And
Booyah!
been a lot of fun. So
Hey,
episode
man.
2 be next
Hey.
week.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We couldn't fit it all in one show, but we'll be back. And we look forward to seeing everybody. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later, T.
Peace, love, and soul, baby.
All right, brother. Bye.
All right.